What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 7 of Prop It Like It's Hot, powered by PropInsiders.com, your home for the best prop betting info, stats, and trends. I'm Nick, and I'm joined here today by my buddies Lucas and Clayton. Don't forget to use code PLAYOFF499 for over 30% off your first month subscription at PropInsiders.com. Lucas, what's up, buddy?
Not much. Been busy with work. Nice to sit down and chat some props with the boys. Excited to finally be back after a bit of a break for us all. But Clay, what's going on?
Had a tough weekend of coaching and reffing lacrosse, so I got a bit of a squeaky voice today, but that's not the worst thing in my life right now. It's these guys on my head that are down 6-0 after the first inning tonight. So, Nick, let's chat some baseball, buddy, and put me out of my misery quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. Obviously, I'm not a Jays fan myself, so I'll gladly give it to you.
You're happy. You're happy in the AL East when we're doing this.
I'm a little different. Yeah, I'm definitely happy today. So all the games are slowly kicking off here. It's about 5 o'clock Pacific time here on the West Coast. So far, the main talking point is yet again Mr. Manoah from the Toronto Blue Jays. 6 runs over .1 innings pitched. Not really much to say. I mean, he's approaching a 7 ERA now. Looking back to week 1 or day 1 of the opening day for MLB, some high praise by the manager there. And it's been all but uphill, I should say, from there. So I'm just curious what your guys' thoughts are. Do you think he deserves to be sent down? He thinks to be getting a slap on the wrist? What are your guys' thoughts?
I don't know. Like, he did 0.1 innings tonight. He's already been pulled. They put in Jackson. Like, that's tough. That's your big starter at this point. I don't even know what you can do. Sending him down might not be the worst idea, but you're paying a lot of money for a guy to play AAA ball. So,
Yeah. Luke, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Season started March 30th, right?
First March start.
So he's got only 2 starts over 6 innings, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that lasted under 5. Not it. But
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's really worth sending him down to try and figure it out down there. I think you just continue to have him take his lumps up in the majors and try to figure it out up there. Personally, like, unless it's a confidence issue, like if it's a confidence thing, then yeah, sending him down might be a worthy choice. But if it's simply just him trying to figure out his stuff, and it seems to be command being the biggest issue right now.
Your one benefit is he's only making $750,000 for them, so it's not like they're tied up in cash. But for him, like, he's got arbitration coming this summer, or not summer, and in the off season, he's absolutely shot himself in the foot.
Yo, big time.
Yeah, so I just pulled up some of the stats here on the site, PropInsiders.com here. He is now on the season. He has 3 overs and 9 unders on total outs recorded. So, in simple terms, he's had 3 half decent starts and 9 terrible starts, from what Vegas is projecting him in terms of how long he's going to last in the game. So, in terms of this bet translates pretty well in terms of pitcher performance, in my opinion. That is total outs recorded. Being your ace, if you're not hitting that line that you're projected at 9 out of 12 times, it's kind of an issue. But luckily, the Jays have been able to. They still stayed afloat. I think they're around 500 now. They're getting some quality pitching from both Bassett and Gosman. So I guess you have a little bit of time to let him figure it out. But I guess I don't know if it's the pitch clock or whatever. Obviously, he's a bigger guy. I'm not going to say he's like obese or anything, but obviously he's a hefty load. So I don't know how much it's affecting him, this whole pitch clock thing, but
yeah,
it's just tough.
Wondered...
Like,
go for it.
Keep it rolling, Lucas. You're all looks like you're being filmed on a Nokia telephone, though.
Yeah, Wi-Fi issues, typical. Well, mentioning Bassett though, he's on parental now, so he's
Oh,
out
right.
for I don't know how long. So that's a massive hit to the Jays with Manoah kind of shitting the bed. Um, but I kind of wondered preseason with the pitching clock change, who is going to be affected? And it seems like maybe, like from a pitcher's perspective, you'd think velocity would kind of fluctuate a little bit more than it maybe has been, but it could just be the tiredness and affecting guys like Manoah and their command. That could be
Yeah.
arguably the main issue right now, right? If
He didn't even
you're
make an inning though.
I well, I mean, yeah,
Like you can, I could
Yeah.
go up there and I haven't pitched a baseball since T-ball. Feel like I
Yeah.
could
You're,
last more than an inning.
yeah.
there's definitely no excuse for how bad he's been, but I wonder if the pitch clock is kind of um, exasperating his issues right now, right?
Yeah. No.
If he's struggling with his command and then he's pitching every pitch a little bit more fatigued than he normally would, then your command gets a little sloppy, and then that's causing him some issues. So
Yeah. No.
I
I
don't really
think.
know how clubs are going to adjust and at least the Blue Jays specifically try and fix him. But yeah, it's an interesting thought.
Well, yeah. Even looking back to last year, obviously, some guys like Alcantara was a Cy Young last year. He's been struggling quite a bit. He's not. He's a bigger guy, but he's definitely in better shape than Manoah, I would say. He's been struggling. He's posting, I think, an over 4 ERA now, whereas last year he was literally dicing all season long. So takes a lot to get used to, I guess. Obviously, we can't put ourselves in their shoes, but definitely something to keep track of. As some of last year's league's best are now almost some of the league's worst. So, um, but yeah, moving forward, I'm gonna turn it over to the offensive side of the ball. Going back to our prop leaders here on propinsiders.com. I'm looking at singles today. Some good trends here. A lot of recognizable names over the past couple podcasts we've had here. So top of the list right now, Luis Arias for the Marlins, acquisition in the offseason for them. He was a stud last year. He's still a stud this year. He's got 39 overs and 15 unders on the year, and that's just singles, right? So that's singles specifically, no other hits involved there. So obviously posting a good clip at 39 and 15, 73% of home games. He's hitting over 70% of away games in 7 of his last 10. So stud there. And then maybe one of the brighter spots for the Blue Jays this year, obviously Bo Bichette. He seems to have kind of taken the spotlight from Vladi a little bit this year, I would say. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I think those young guys have all kind of collected themselves together now, and it's definitely a core rather than individuals in my mind.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think Bo's having a great start to the year in terms
Yeah,
of his singles prop. He's got 38 overs and 22 unders. So he sits in second on that prop leaders list. And then going down the list, 3, 4, and 5, Bryson Stott. This guy, I still yet to learn how to pronounce his name, Esterio Ruiz. No, I'm just kidding. It's Esteri Ruiz. 37 and 22. Bryson Stott, 37 and 19, and then Whit Merrifield, kind of a bright spot for the Jays as well. Two Jays on the list here, number 5 spot at 35 and 18. So just some things to keep in track of there in terms of maybe some profitable bets. I believe here, just let me click into here. Luis Arraez is betting his singles prop on the whole season so far. You're up $1,872. So definitely something to look at.
nice.
Obviously, some nice green numbers there. Something we all look forward to on the betting side of things. But yeah, I'm going to go back into one more offensive category, and then we'll flip it over to a different sport here. But home runs. Pete Alonso is absolutely tearing it up. He has 20 overs and 39 unders on home runs. I know in terms of a percentage, it's not high at 33.9, but you're always getting great odds on these. Um, this is based on the average odds to start the year. If you bet him every single game, you're up $4,500 on home runs. So obviously some great numbers there. That chart's going, the trend's looking way up. So, and then Aaron Judge kind of came out of nowhere coming back from injury. He's been on fire. He's at 15 and 34 in the second spot. And then Matt Olson in the third spot at 15 and 44. Max Muncy slowed down from maybe a couple weeks ago when I might have hinted at that. But he's at 14 and 40 on the year. So some big names there. Obviously, some of the top hitting talents in the league. But definitely keep an eye on Mr. Pete Alonso. Um, Although the Mets are struggling, he seems to be providing the majority of the offense there. So, but yeah, that kind of wraps up my MLB segment here. I'm gonna finish it off, kind of discussing my pick of the day here. My pick of the day, it's gonna be for Wednesday, June 7th. We're gonna kind of try and line it up for you guys. Lucas and Clayton will give their picks later. But I am taking Jameson Taillon over total earned runs allowed. Just a little recap here. He is in his last 10 starts, 7 and 3 on the over. So I guess with this bet, we're kind of betting on his not sort. We want the opposite of his success that day. So 7 and 3 in his last 10. Um, Against this a line of 2.5 earned runs allowed, which is what I'm assuming it's going to be at. It's not yet out. He's hitting the over at 77.78%, so pretty good clip there in his last 3 starts. He's averaging 3.67 earned runs allowed per game, with 4.33 runs allowed per game. So that's my pick of the day. He's going to be away against the Padres. I guess maybe Luke, if you want to flip it over into NBA, maybe.
Yeah, we can talk some little basketball. Nuggets and Heat through 2 games. Some might be surprised, but series tied at 1-1. Miami gets the split in Denver. Game 1, big Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic show combining for 53 of the Nuggets, 104. I think the story of Game 1 was definitely the Heat role players not showing up. Max Struss, 0 points on 0 of 10 shooting. And Caleb Martin, who got a lot of internet notoriety for his 7 straight points prop overs in the series with the Celtics. He finished with 3 points on 1 of 7 shooting. Game 2, a bit of a different story. Nikola Jokic showed up, 41, 11, and 4. Murray had a double-double, but he wasn't really himself when it came to shooting the ball. He was 18, 4, and 10. And then not another Denver player with over 12 points. So, yeah, I don't think Denver's got the depth scoring for, Murray to not have 25 plus, right? Like he's going to have to be the 1B to Jokic's 1A if the rest of the roster isn't going to pick it up. Miami had a very big collective effort. Vincent, Butler, and Adebayo all having 20 plus, and then Duncan Robinson and Max Struss were the only other players with 10 plus. Kevin Love, out of nowhere, chipped in with 10 rebounds. Yeah, I mean that's always been Miami's success. It's got to be a bit more of a team effort, but yeah, Denver still the heavy favorite. I think they split in Miami again, and it comes back 2-2. But then I still got Denver in 6. I don't know what you guys think on that series as a whole in terms of its eventual outcome. But
I think
yeah,
I think you made some good points there in terms of the depth from both sides. Obviously, I still I still haven't figured out how Denver has had so much success when realistically you look at their team and the only guys you really think about are Jamal Murray and Jokic. It seems like if MPJ is not hot, or Aaron Gordon's not hot, or KCP is not hot, they're going to lose the game. I know that was their first home loss, so obviously they found success in other ways. But I loved Jimmy Butler's press conference after game 2. They kind of asked him in terms of what he thought about Strus's performance, Martin's performance, and Duncan Robinson's performance in game 1. This was obviously after the game 2 win. He kind of hinted at if they're open, he's going to pass them the ball no matter what. I really liked how he responded and had his teammates back. I think they do have the depth advantage, I would say. I think obviously Jamal Murray and Jokic have the upper hand on Butler and Adebayo in terms of the dynamic duo on both teams, but I think it's a wide open series, man. I really do believe that. I think Jimmy Butler's going to steal a game for sure. He hasn't had a spectacular performance like we saw in Series 1 against the Bucks. So I think he's definitely able to steal one of the games. Obviously, Martin hasn't been super hot. I think he's due to maybe shine in one of these games. So I see it going 7. I like the Heat.
I think it's still Denver as well. Probably 6, but is that the answer that everybody's been searching for? Everybody's been looking at how do you shut down Jokic. You don't. You give up those points and just hope and pray that KCP and the other three don't heat up like they do and just force the ball out that way, kind of thing, and accept the fact that there's going to be 60, 70 points from those two shooters from Denver, and then play hard defense on the other ones and make that game that way.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's well said, I think.
I mean, fair point, for sure. Couple talking points here. Denver head coach Mike Malone has some has a serious kind of problem on his hands with MPJ being pretty sus lately. He finished game 2 with 5.6 rebounds. And is it time for Bruce Brown to get into the starting lineup? MPJ was 2 of 8, and Brown was 4 of 9. Brown finished with 11 and 5. So as we talk about how it's Murray and Jokic, who else is going to step up behind him? It seems like Bruce Brown has been playing better ball lately than MPJ for sure. So Mike Malone's definitely got a bit of a decision there heading into game 3.
Yeah, no, I mean, MPJ is obviously the superior shooter. I've seen so many memes on TikTok of him literally just catch and shoot, catch and shoot, catch and shoot, no matter how many hands are in his face. But yeah, he's a guy. If he gets hot, he gets hot. But 2 of 8 is definitely not going to cut it in terms of the NBA Finals. There's not really any time to sit back and wait on people, right? And obviously Bruce Brown's been he's been super consistent for them, man. He's been great off the bench. Obviously he's their sixth man role. But if MPJ doesn't pick it up, I wouldn't be surprised, like you said, if Bruce Brown steps in.
Yeah. Another one here. Okay, so this is not my play, but could be a look if you're trying to fade Jimmy lately. It's definitely an interesting conversation. If his ankle's causing him a lot more problems than people are realizing, or simply has he gotten cold? But he opened the playoffs with 25 plus points in 12 of the first 16 games, and he's only had 25 plus in one of his last 5. His prop line for game 3 is 25 and a half. So if you're an under guy and you kind of want to bet that trend, Jimmy is under 25 points in 4 of his last 5. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think the ankle's causing him a lot of problems, or has he just gotten a bit cold after his really hot start to the playoffs?
I think Denver's defense might be a little bit of the problem there, to be honest.
True.
I know they've only played 2 games, but definitely in the end of the Celtics series, he kind of went cold, and they were lucky enough to get the performances when they needed it most in Game 7. But I think he's still the second best player in the series, in my opinion. I guess that's kind of up for debate. So I'm not one to really fade in terms of playing the under, but I mean it's still a good look statistically. But I think he's definitely due for an outburst at some point here.
Yeah, it's tough, and like you said, he's going to steal a game this series, potentially 2. So statistically, you're right. Unders are a good look, but we all know what could come from them. So
Hit me
Yeah,
buckets.
like I don't I wouldn't like taking the under because he's more than capable of going for 40, and that under's broken in a quarter and a half. But I don't know, just starting to think like I wonder if that combination of Denver's defense and Jimmy's ankle, he's just kind of lost some of that pop that would get him by, um, for a couple of easier extra buckets than he's gotten lately. So
You know what's funny? Actually, I just want to say one thing before you kind of give your last pick. I believe it was like Game 5 or Game 6 of the Celtics series. where after the game he trademarked Hemi buckets. So
Yeah.
he might have gone downhill since then. So maybe that has something to do with it.
It got to his head. Now it's over.
Yeah, but
Yeah. The
yeah, no.
jinx is on. Um, one more quick thing on this series before I give that pick out. If Jimmy is hobbled and or cold and or Denver's defense is just shutting him down a bit, is Bam the key to the Heat's championship hope? Through 2 games, he's averaging 23.5 points, 11 rebounds, and 4.5 assists.
Wow.
So I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that, but seems like Bam right now, needs to show up, and he has so far, and that's what's gotten kind of the Heat the 1-1 split.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has the athletic advantage on Jokic. Obviously, Jokic, he's an athlete no matter what. He's the best player in the NBA in my opinion. But in terms of defensively, like Bam is much faster and more agile. So if he can take advantage of Jokic, that's it might be definitely the key to the series.
Yeah, no, I think I think you're right for sure. The athletic advantage, I think, as long as he plays to that, then yeah, you could continue to find success and give the Heat some hope. Over to my pick on this one, heading into Game 3 on Wednesday for Heat Denver. I got Gabe Vincent over 2.5 threes made. It's at minus 105 currently. He's red hot from deep right now. He's shooting 55% from three in his last 6 games, going back to the series with the Celtics. He's got 3+ threes made in 3 of his last 4 and 4 of his last 6. He's over in 5 of 8 games, averaging 2.5 threes made versus Denver. I think with Jimmy again not up to snuff that we're used to. Gabe Vincent has been stepping up, and he's definitely been stepping up from deep. So I like that on Wednesday.
Sweet. Clayton, you want to hit us
Um,
up with NHL?
yep.
Yeah, we're game 1 in the books. Game 2. They probably just have started dropping the puck right now, I imagine, right?
Yeah, I think they
Anthems
just
are
started.
probably over. They probably just dropped it, but game 1 was pretty exciting. It was a great back and forth hockey game. Low shooting for what those offenses are in my mind. I think it was like 28 and 33 shots or something like that. So, um, Aiden Hill's big save though, that paddle save. Did you guys see that one?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
that
sick.
was
That was nuts. Like I don't know how he
unacceptable.
got that, but
Would you say that's
especially at home, that's probably going to be the biggest save this entire playoffs, if not this season.
do you think it's one of the best saves in Stanley Cup Finals history? Are we putting it up into that tier?
Yeah, I mean it's got to be up there. People would be pissed because it's Vegas, but I would say it's probably. And I mean, it's usually like the storyline was all about Bobrovsky and how well he'd done through the Conference Final, and it seems like it's just been the Aiden Hill show through Game 1. Like I think Bobo let in a couple easy ones, but he didn't get some help. A couple of screens that Vegas got the puck through. So I think the big point was Stone's goal. It
Yeah,
kind of was a huge decision. I thought it was a high stick even
me
after
too.
replays, but like I don't know if that's home ice advantage working big time for you, but that was a crazy one. I think Florida's got a huge gripe to pull at the refs in the league on that one because it was way above his shoulder in my mind. So
Yeah, I
Side
think it
note.
was obvious.
yeah,
Yes. Side note. Did you see that clip of the Europa League final referee getting razzed at the airport by Roma fans after his questionable calls?
no, were they
I
going at him?
did.
Oh my god, it was bad.
How do
It
they
was
not PJ him and not just make him fight commercial, man?
seriously, but he was getting some serious heat at the airport. It was bad. I don't know
Oh,
where he
I'm
was.
surprised in Europe they didn't kill him in the airport, kind of thing.
That's yeah. But yeah, back to Cup Finals talk. But that was
Like, yeah,
crazy clip. If you haven't seen it, search it up. It's kind of tough to watch.
yeah. No, I think Panthers defensive errors led to too many goals. Like poor clear. I mean, the Stone one was a muffin up the middle that he could bat down, and there's a couple where guys were screening Bobrovsky, letting him in, and just poor play out of the defensive end. So I don't have a ton on it. I like that there was a little rough stuff. They mixed it up a bunch. Good to see a Stahl brothers score. You know, they're 45, 82, kind of like that. So it's nice to see them contribute early into the series. But
I saw a comically funny tweet of it was something along the lines of like Eric Stahl must be pissed he scored during Pride Month or something. Like, just, just so bad. Like, come on. Oh man. But yeah, I don't know. I think Florida takes tonight's game, but
I just think Vegas has such a great atmosphere that it's tough to beat them on the road.
Yeah,
Even if the Panthers are the better team in my mind, like Vegas at home, I don't think there's many people that can stop them.
yeah, I agree for sure. They're,
Like that.
I've yet to see a game there, but I've heard nothing but like the best of things in terms of like the game environment. And
Yeah,
obviously, it's being the Stanley Cup Finals, it's obviously 10x regular season, but I'd imagine it's a pretty hostile environment for some of these guys.
yeah, and that place is just shiny gold with all those
Yeah,
the alternates they're wearing, which is just
I love it, man.
grinds grinds gears.
It's
Oh, they're just in
so,
your face. It's perfect.
it's so Vegas, but it's like, it's so fitting. Like, it's literally like, I'd imagine these guys are getting knocks on the door in their hotel room from anyone and anything, just making sure they're not on their A game. And
Yeah,
obviously, it's the city of temptation, so I imagine it's tough to get to bed for some of these guys on the road from the Panthers here.
they'll never report it, but I wonder if they're even staying in town. I know that
Uh,
they're professionals, they're businessmen, but like all the fans, they would definitely be pulling fire alarms as soon as they heard where it is. You know, they could be out
oh
of
yeah,
town
for
taking the
sure.
bus in would be my guess, but
yeah.
just bring them their golf clubs for the off day and they'll be fine. I did see that Marcia shows goal scoring prop. I think it was four or five kind of thing. Like easy money there. It's probably almost ticking down to into the minuses for the odds on it, but easy take.
No, dude, I bet at the last 5 games. It's been at plus 200 or better every game. Today's the only
What?
day. It was plus 190.
That's ridiculous. That
Yeah,
guy's just a
so good bet.
workhorse. So I don't have a ton more. Like I thought it was just a great back and forth game. You know, this is gonna be an awesome series. Uh, I think Vegas wins tonight. We'll see. I'll definitely jinx that. So now, you know, all the Florida bettors are probably pretty happy. But and then I think Florida takes two at home as well. So I think this is going to go 6 or 7 for sure. I'd like to see Florida pull it off, but I'm happy if Vegas does too. I don't have any qualms with it. A lot of Canadians on both teams. I think there's like 14 and 16. So
Well,
we continue to dominate the NHL even though we haven't won a cup.
mhm.
So my play, it's going to be Thursday, so I'm kind of looking at Monday stats right now for tonight's game. So definitely take in what happens tonight into account. But I really like Jack Eichel and his assist prop. He's 4-1 in the last 5, and the Panthers have given up 5.38 assists per skater. So it's definitely good. And since he used to play on the East Coast, he's played against them a ton. He is 7-3 in favor of the over, and he's 3-1 when he's playing in Florida. So good odds there. His average line is always going to be 0.5 for him, and then he's averaging 1.25 assists when playing in Florida. 2 in game one. One was an empty net goal, so that's kind of luck to get that one. But I really like him for the assist prop.
Nice. Love it. Um, so yeah, I guess that kind of wraps it up for everything. I will kind of give it one last go around here with our prop insiders 3 leg parlay of the day. Unfortunately, my glasses are gone. Some lady stole them in Scottsdale on my adventure. So I've switched to these ones.
We all have our problems in life.
We've hopefully the luck remains the same with these ones as we hit last week on our 3 leg parlay. But I'm gonna kick us off here in a little recap. I have on Wednesday, it'll be June 7th. I'm taking Jameson Taillon over on his total earned runs allowed prop. He is 7-3 on the over in his last 10. Lucas, over to you.
I got Gabe Vincent over 2.5 threes made, shooting 55% from three in his last 6 games, and he's got 3+ threes made in 3 of his last 4 and 4 of his last 6.
And I've got Jack Eichel on his assist prop. He's 4-1 in his last 5, and he's 3-1 in his last 4 games when playing in Florida.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it again here on our Prop It Like It's Hot podcast powered by PropInsiders.com. Thank you and have a great evening.